What's up, Top 10 fam? Hope you're having an awesome day. I'm your host Ayman Hassan and welcome back to another video. Now, we all thought the world was gonna end in December of 2012 and thankfully it didn't. We all lived through it, didn't we? False alarm people, just a bit of shits and giggles, wasn't it? But this list is the furthest thing from and giggles. I'ma hit you with part 2, so hold your horses, be prepared because these are the top 10 scary signs the end is here, part 2. Starting us off with number 10 is the simulation. By now, I feel like honestly, since the beginning of time, people have speculated that we're living in a simulation of some kind. The technology industry has a fast growing consensus that we are in fact living in a computer simulation. According to the simulation hypothesis, we are getting very close to a time where we can realistically and accurately simulate life on Earth using advanced computers, kind of like the movie Ready Player One, except less game-ish. And if that possibility is there, what's to say we didn't already reach that stage and we're already living inside one? And if that's true, the hypothesis claims a simulation will end when we reach the point of creating a simulation within our simulation. So our end of the world could essentially be something as simple as a new simulation, or better yet, what if someone just turned it off? Just press the button and just turn off the simulation. End the human race in the touch of a button. What if that happened? Coming in at number 9 is 2000 SG344, which is actually not the name of the new Samsung coming out. I know, I made that mistake too. Now, this asteroid that's barely even bigger than a yacht was meant to be the most dangerous object in the world. At 40 meters wide and moving at the speed of 28,000 miles per hour, it was en route to hit the Earth back in 2000, but thankfully that didn't happen because then we'd all be dead and I wouldn't be here making this video. But with more precise measurements of the orbit of 2000 SG344 being done, it seems it's on course to hit Earth at the end of September in the year 2030. So we have about 10 years to figure out our plan or, die. No biggie, no pressure. Right now, NASA's been charged with sending people back to the moon more permanently to then send them to Mars from the moon. It'll be a good taster of whether Mars can be our new Earth or not. But in terms of the asteroid itself, almost all asteroids have gravity levels of close to 0, so no capsule or person can land on it unless they attach themselves to it somehow. So unless we do some Star Wars shit and shoot some arrows into the asteroid and then get on there, we're doomed. At number 8, we have a mini ice age. Now, the Earth goes through warm and cold cycles, and during its cold cycles previously there have been ice ages. Similarly, the sun goes through cycles as well, where its solar activity drops or increases, and therefore the level of heat it produces fluctuates as well. Now, scientists have claimed that upcoming changes in the sun's activity could cause temperatures on Earth to plunge from 2020 to 2050. Now, can you imagine it progressively getting colder and colder for 30 years? Like, it's already getting colder right now for winter in Canada and I feel like death already. I mean, the only pro of that is that at least the effects of global warming will be overridden by that, which will give us another 30 years to sort our out, so we better do it. The last time this happened, it caused the little ice age that occurred between 1645 and 1700, which caused the River Thames to freeze over countless times. During that point, there were barely any sunspots on the sun's surface, and so scientists believe the sunspot activity is slowly beginning to slow down now as well. Now, other scientists like Michael Brown, a professor of astronomy, argues that even that won't combat man-made climate change, so that's just fantastic. If a 30-year ice age can't save us, we are truly screwed. Well, we are anyway because of the impending ice age, but that just isn't ideal either, is it? No. Filling on our 7th slot is the flu epidemic. As if this list can get worse and we're literally only on number 7. I love life, honestly. What could go wrong? I'm like that meme of the dog that's in the house that's on fire. It's like, it's fine, I'm fine. Now let's just flash back for a sec. The last flu epidemic we had was a Spanish one back in 1918, dubbed the deadliest one in history. It infected 500 million people, which is a third of the world's population, and then ended up killing between 20 to 50 million people. It killed that many people in 1 year, and it was first seen in Europe, then the US, then Asia, before being basically everywhere. Well, sucks to suck, guys, because according to Bill Gates and medical experts, we are in fact due for another flu pandemic, and not only that, we are ridiculously unprepared for it. Because of the mass transportation available nowadays, like all the trains, airplanes, buses, etc., the flu pandemic now could spread like wildfire and kill 30 million people in months. Like the Spanish flu killed 30 million people in a year, this could kill that many in months. Months, you guys, are you getting this? That would affect everything. Hospitals, overcrowding in that sector, the economy would go down, travel would lessen, everything would just go to shit. we wouldn't even have a cure. Like, why are we even trying at this point? Why are we even trying? Now, at number 6 is genetic engineering. Now, this is a pro and a con, to be honest. Now, when genetic engineering became a thing, it was very damn popular and was seen as a new feat of human change that we hadn't encountered before. These days, tools like CRISPR have even been dubbed as the new technology that could eradicate the likelihood of birth defects and cure cancer. Like, CRISPR didn't come to play around. But the more we start changing the human genome, the worse it can get for us. Sure, it starts by improving humans, making our immune system more resistant, perhaps making our bodies stronger or needing less sleep. But what if we unknowingly create a superhuman race that ends up persecuting and killing the old one, i.e. us? Or following from number 7, what if we just straight up design a virus that becomes unstoppable and untreatable? Like, oh Lord, she coming! And by she, I certainly don't mean me. I mean the end of the world. Coming in at number 5 is overpopulation. Now, we all know what overpopulation is, I'm not gonna explain it, but let's talk about how it's real, it's happening, and it will only get worse and what that will entail. Now, firstly, our natural resources are already depleting, but as the population increases, it's gonna become even more limited. Violence and aggression have already increased outside of war situations because of competition for resources, and we're not even at the final stage yet. Next, the environment, but we all knew that. We're already killing it with no coming back right now, and I doubt world leaders care enough to do anything about it. Fantastic. Conflicts in developing countries will increase because things like water and food are becoming harder to source, and that will also increase poverty. So really, at the rate our population is growing at, it's only about time before we become our own downfall. Can't wait. At number 4 is the grey goo scenario. Completely a real scientific theory, by the way, don't let the name fool you. Now, the grey goo scenario is a hypothetical scenario involving molecular nanotechnology and resulting in global catastrophe. Now, nanotechnology itself are tiny robots that are used to carry out specific functions, and scientists want to use them to prevent and cure disease. Now, this scenario posits that nanotechnology may gain the ability of self-replication by accident, and then ecophagy will occur, and that word essentially means eating the environment or eating the habitation. So this nanotechnology could technically keep self-replicating and consuming all biomass on Earth while it does so. And we won't even be able to see it. We won't even see the thing that's taking us down. It's just gonna be taking us down at a nano level. Great. Filling our number 3 slot is the cyber attack. Now, let's be real, the internet has been part of our daily lives for quite a while now, and with that comes cyber attacks. Smaller things like credit card fraud, stealing personal information, leaking information, and hacking into things you shouldn't be. Hackers are getting more skilled, and if we recall back in 2017, a cyber attack hit more than 150 countries, which resulted in the crippling of some of the world's largest institutions. The attack used the Petya malware and started swamping banks, newspapers, electricity firms, and so forth. Ukraine was hit the hardest, but France, Germany, the US, UK, Australia, and others were also badly hit. It was masquerading as ransomware, where a software essentially threatens to block, erase, or publish information unless a ransom is paid. So if the damage was that bad 2 years ago, God knows how much they've advanced and improved since then, ready for an even worse attack. What if something else is attacked or released that could take down our entire system? Cyberly. Now, at number 2 are aliens. Guys, this whole list has been me talking about how we're gonna be the reason behind the world's ending, minus that asteroid, but what if it's not even us? What if the world doesn't even wait for us to mess up? Now, we've already made alien contact, let's not kid ourselves, and sure, we have probably made some alliances here and there, but I'm sure there are other alien civilizations out there that do not like us or want our planet or whatever the hell. I mean, they have many motives, let's be real, we are a planet in demand. Now, their technology is better than ours. We're a Nokia in comparison to them being the Samsung Note 50. Like, we are a speck of dirt in comparison, let's be real. So if one day some alien overlords are like, you know what, I think today's the day we end those pesky humans, or you know what, I'm feeling a little ballsy today, how about we kill the humans today, I just need some entertainment. Like, the beings we share the world with could very well get us before we get ourselves, which I'd prefer. I feel like that's less embarrassing than being the reason for our own downfall. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. And finally, at number 1 is misinformation. Honestly, these days the actual truth and facts are being shared less and less. We already know the government has hid things from us time and time again throughout history, and secondly, there's no shortage of fake news either. If our world's leaders don't even fact check their information anymore, honestly, what is the point of anyone doing it? Literally. News outlets and media publications have started caring less about facts and more about quantity and output. So honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if some fake news news got out about the world's ending or resources ending, and people just started killing each other and stealing while all the world leaders are just sitting at their desks like that Mr. Burns meme, like like if enough people in enough countries believed something fake and condemning, we'd be done for, honestly. They'd go berserk. And that's it for today's video, guys. I know this was a super pessimistic video, but there's nothing good or positive about signs the world is ending, are there? Honestly, we survived 2012, we survived Britney Spears and JT's hideous matching denim outfit, we will survive Trump, and we'll survive this list too. Fingers crossed. As always, I'm your host, Ayman Hassan, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. Oh boy, I am sweating about that. We brought it back, we brought it back, we brought it back, we brought it back. You know what? You know what? People do that. When they like move their head, you're like, you know what I mean? Sorry, just need to get that out of my system.